Hey there, welcome back to Elevate with Emily. In my last video, I introduced the STEER model and how it helps us manage our thoughts, emotions, and experiences in any given situation. To quickly recap, STEER stands for situation, thought, emotion, action, and reality. A triggering situation then sets off our thoughts, which then impact our emotions, leading to our actions or behaviors, and then ultimately shaping our reality. Today, we're diving into two common cycles that happen when we get triggered. These are distorted thought loops that keep us stuck. The first one is our depression cycle, when we get stuck between the present and the past. The second cycle is the anxious cycle, which is when we get stuck between the present and the future. We're going to talk about what these cycles feel like, but also how to break out of them. And to do that, it requires a brief understanding of the definition of truth. I love this definition of truth from the Doctrine and Covenants. In chapter 93, verse 24, it reads, "Truth is knowledge of things as they are, as they were, and as they are to come. Anything more or less than this is not truth." So when we are focusing only on the past or only on the future, we're not living in the full truth. We're living in a partial truth, and that's where these cycles happen. Let's start with what the depression cycle looks like. It happens when we get stuck between now and the past. Let's say something upsetting happens, like someone interrupts you when you're speaking, and your brain automatically thinks, people always interrupt me. They don't care what I have to say. Your brain then begins to dig up all the evidence from the past that supports this thought you're having in the present moment. It skips over all the exceptions and cherry picks the evidence to prove that people don't listen to you, that they don't care what you have to say. And it makes that thought stronger and stronger. This creates a feedback loop that literally creates depressive symptoms. As your mind thinks now, oh, they didn't listen to me, and they didn't listen to me, and here's an example of my boss that didn't listen to me, and here's when my parents didn't listen to me. Man, no one listens to me. This just feels hopeless. It's never gonna change. What can I do? I'm helpless. This sucks. I'm just the worst. And we get so negative and so down on ourselves, and it just keeps going on. And this can last minutes, but it can also last hours or days as we continue to reinforce that negative story that brings us down into depression. But here is the full truth. Even if those things have been true in your past, that doesn't make them true for your future. They don't have to define your future. You get to create something. In fact, that is how you break out of the depressive spiral. You look to the future and you ask yourself, what do I want to create? Who do I want to become? How can I use these things from my past to become better and create a future that excites me, that serves me, and that lets me serve other people? As you start creating, you are then literally creating the antidote to depression. You are feeling hope, excitement, energy, motivation. Remember, in the STEER model, if you continue to let those thoughts spiral, it literally becomes your reality. And so you get to choose, wait a second, these thoughts are only about a moment in time. Just because I feel this way now doesn't mean I'm gonna feel this way all the time. What is the truth? How can I change that thought to then create a more hopeful outlook? The more you practice this, the easier it gets, but be patient with yourself. You've spent a lifetime strengthening the neural pathways of your brain to default to this negative depressive cycle. And so it's not going to happen overnight, but with intentional, mindful, and persistent effort, you can rewire your brain and create a new pattern that better serves you. Now we're going to talk about the anxious spiral. This happens when we get caught up in the current moment and the future. The future is full of unknowns, and it's so easy to begin to spiral. Right now, I'm feeling a lot of pressure to know what to do with my life, and I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what school I'm going to go to. I don't know what job I'm going to get. I don't know who I'm going to marry. I don't know how many kids I'm going to have. I don't know when I'm going to be able to have kids. I don't know when I'm going to die, right? Like all of those things we don't know. And we just spiral and spiral and spiral. And we don't know this, and we bring it back to the present moment. We don't know this, and it brings it alive as if we're living all of those unknowns and worst case scenarios right here, right now. And that simply is not the truth. The truth is you have this past of hard things that you have survived and gotten through. You are resilient. You have strength. You've overcome hard things before. You can overcome them again. By looking to your past achievements, it can give you the resilience and the grounded assurance that you need to move forward. Yeah, 4th grade was really hard and I still passed. 5th grade was really hard and I still passed. High school was really hard in the moment and I passed. And so odds are, even though college is really, really hard, I'll pass. I'll make it through. Even if you don't have the answers to those future unknowns, trust that you have made it through unknowns in the past. You're still kicking, so you got this. That is how you can break out of an anxious spiral loop. Again, remember, you are needing to rewire your brain to do this, and so it's going to take time. Now, there's this thing called black and white thinking. Our brain is wired to like patterns, to like shortcuts, and it has this way of seeing things as black or white. It's either true or it's not true. And so when we're looking at these patterns, if we can see how it's not true, if we can find those exceptions, it allows our brain to loosen its grip and change the thought process. Our brain says, if it's true this time, then it's always true. And that is simply not true. Or our brain thinks, well, it was true then, so it's true now, or it's going to be true forever. And also that is simply not true. When you look at the full picture, that's when you have the truth. And your brain can ease up on the here and the now and not hold so tightly to that thought or that feeling. And then it can allow you to escape instead of escalating. Now that you know the secret to breaking these cycles, getting caught in them doesn't have to be so scary. Once you know your way out, it becomes manageable. You will catch it happening sooner and sooner, and you'll work on redirecting it to the full truth, and you will notice immediate changes and relief and improvement in your life. So what's next? In a future video, we're going to talk about difficult emotions, the ones we don't like to feel, but how they actually are so important, so necessary, and so valid. It will change your perspective on emotions and help you build up more resilience and confidence in your life. Comment below if this video resonated with you. Let me know where you see yourself in your cycles or your progress as you're learning to break out of them. I'll see you in the next video.